Let's be honest, Pokemon games are typically not known for their post-game, unless you're talking about Johto. However, Pokemon Black and White have many cool features to offer once you defeat Ghetsis, including the whole eastern side of Unova, an adventurous side quest with a familiar character, and strong opponents to challenge. By the way, I'll be using the same game file as the one in the Playing Pokemon as SpongeBob video, so be sure to give it a look after checking out this video. Anyways, without further ado, it's time to actually play through the post-game of Pokemon Black and White. Our reign as the hero began in our bedroom of all places. As we went downstairs, it appeared for a moment that we had two moms. Turns out one was just a looker wearing a disguise. I seriously had no clue that he was in this game, but that's pretty cool. Anyways, he stated that the 7 stages of Team Plasma are still out and about, and that he needs our help to track them down. Before leaving though, he handed us the Super Rod, and then we met up with Charon and Bianca, who talked about the routes east of Nimbasa City. Cedric Juniper then upgraded our Pokédex, and I also got a few TMs from Professor Juniper before finally leaving our hometown. The first stop on our long list of things to do was the Relic Castle. Professor Juniper was randomly checking out the area as she gave us a Rage Candy Bar to use on the Zen Mode Darmanitans. You know, it's kind of unfortunate that you don't have access to this cool ability until the post-game. Deeper in the castle, we ran into a Plasma Grunt who charged at us with his Crocodile. Looks like he was just trying to hide the fact that Ryoku, the first of the 7 sages, was camping out here. He gave us the TM for Calm Mind before being taken away by Looker. After a bit more exploring, we came across the level 70 Volcarona. Oh man, I really should have saved before this fight. It was now time to head across the Marvelous Bridge and check out what the eastern portion of Unova has to offer. But first, this man interested us in a magnificent deal as he was selling a Magikarp for $500. Too bad I didn't have any room in my party though. A couple of steps later, the Shadow Triad randomly showed up and gave us the Adamant, Lustrous, and Grisius Orb. Thanks guys? At the end of the bridge, this girl freaking disappeared. But it was pretty funny to witness the other guy's reaction. Route 15 didn't have much to offer besides the Poke Transfer Lab. However, this is probably a good time to mention that most of the trainers in the postgame use Mons in the 60s, which is pretty high considering that Ghetsis' ace was only level 54. I guess I should get used to losing then. Past Route 15 was Black City, or White Forest if you're playing Pokemon White, which features a varying number of residents, as well as items in the marketplace, depending on how long it took you to reach the city. Some of the NPCs will also battle you, so that's nice. Moving on, we encountered Giallo. Gosh, I totally just butchered that. On Route 14, who presented us with the TM for Bulk Up before getting arrested by Looker. By climbing some waterfalls, we managed to reach the Abundant Shrine, which is where you can capture Landorus in these games. Unfortunately though, you need Tornadus and Thundurus in your party, but they are version exclusive legendaries, so we won't be doing that today. For now, we headed to Undella Town, where we got the HM4 Dive, which can be used to find treasure under the Undella Bay. I'm sure you guys know that Cynthia also lives in one of the villas, but we'll be taking her on later. On the other hand, we did check out this big mansion towards the west, where a little kid took us on in a battle. Apparently, you can come back to the mansion every day and challenge more family members who will give you a solid amount of prize money. North of the town was Route 13, where we collected 3 gram things or whatever and handed them to this lady so her Wingull could fly off and leave behind the TM for U-turn. Yeah, that was not worth it. What was worth the trip though was our journey into the giant chasm where Kyurem was waiting for us. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie here, I thought Kyurem wasn't a Pokemon until Black and White 2, so this actually blew my mind. Luckily, it didn't take long to catch, and I'll probably be needing this guy for some of the tougher fights in the post-game. Skipping over to the village bridge, there were a few battles here, as well as a little mini-game where you have to memorize people's orders for a chef. If you get all the orders correct, then you get a free Lumberry, and you can do this once a day. Alright, time for some battles. First up was Cheren near the exit of Victory Road, but his team was only in the mid-60s, so we handled him pretty well. Back in Castelia City, we took on Morimoto and his team of level 75 to 77s. However, most of his team members were easy to knock out with Kyurem. Since we're technically not in the Hall of Fame yet, I figured it was time to rematch the Elite Four. After getting through Chantal, Grimsley, Caitlyn, and Marshall, Alder was waiting patiently in the Champions Room. We eventually won the real battle for Champion, allowing us to officially enter the squad into the Hall of Fame. Despite being back in New Vema Town, there was still much more to get done. Once again, in Juniper's lab, Bianca informed us about mass Pokemon outbreaks. Now, I was recording this footage on a Wednesday, but if you're playing on the weekend, she'll also challenge you to a fight. Anyways, it was time to track down the rest of the 7 sages, beginning on Route 18, where we got the TM for Double Team from Rude. Inside of the Dream Yard, Gorm basically jump scared us and handed us the Swords Dance TM. I think we actually saved Zinzolin, as he was probably freezing to death in the cold storage. Look, we were even rewarded the TM for Honeclaws. Bronius was hiding out in the Chargestone Cave, and he tried to get away by ordering some grunts to battle us, but that didn't work. Afterwards, Looker took him away, while also mentioning that there have been sightings of someone who looks a lot like N, which marked the end of this side mission. On top of the Celestial Tower, Alder was blabbering on about some things, but I was really just there to brag about me becoming the champion. The true final test, though, was back in Undella Town, as we finally had our showdown with Cynthia. Our trusty Kyurem was able to handle most of the work, so that does it for the final trainer battle I'll be covering in this video. However, there were still some legendary Pokemon that I needed to throw in the PC, like Tornadus and the Swords of Justice. I know you can get these Pokemon before the post-game, but when I was playing Pokemon Black as SpongeBob, I wasn't worried about the legendaries, so I figured I would get them here. Other than doing the battle subway or completing the Pokédex, we have just about done all that there is to do in the post-game of Pokemon Black and White. This might have been the toughest post-game of a Pokemon game that I've experienced, because as I said before, most trainers had high-leveled and fully evolved Pokemon, so I did lose a few times during this playthrough. As usual, I had a ton of fun making this video, especially since I was able to do something that I've never done while playing Pokemon Black and White. I've already done this concept for Pokemon Platinum and Black and White 2, but be sure to let me know in the comments if there's any other games you want me to cover. For now though, have a great rest of your day, and until next time, deuces!